So the next allele we'll talk about at the spotting locus is little s, little s. So little s causes the coat to have random spotting, like we see in our Friesian breed here. So they have a big E, making their base color black, and two little s's, causing them to have random spotting. So here we have a Friesian bull. He has a big E and two little s's, so he has random spotting and a black base color. And this is another Friesian bull, so again, the amount of spotting on these animals can vary animal to animal. So again, big E and two little s's. So another breed that has little s at their spotting locus is Holstein. So this picture shows the amount of variation within that type of spotting. So this cow up here is almost completely black, and then the one on the bottom is almost completely white. And here we have a Holstein Hereford cross. So he is big E, and then big SH, little s. So for this one, SH is more dominant than little s, so it will still have the full Hereford pattern, and it has a big E, so the base color will be black. The next allele we'll talk about at the spotting locus is our Pinzgeier spotting, so SP, SP. So a Pinzgeier pattern is also referred to as a skunk stripe pattern. So you can see here we have the white stripes along the side encompassing the base color on the cow. So for our Pinzgeier Hereford cross, we get little e, an SP, and an SH. So for SP, SH, we're going to get the bald face from the SH and a restricted skunk stripe pattern from your SP. So here you can see the bald face and then the restricted skunk stripe pattern. Next we have a 3/4 Angus, 1/4 Charolais. So we have a big E causing this calf to be black and a SP big S. So SP big S causes a restricted Pinzgeier pattern. So this is the same cow that we saw previously. This is our Charolais Angus. It was the dam of this calf. And so just looking at her, you probably wouldn't know that she has an SP in her genotype. But if you look more closely, if you look at her tail, you can see this ring of white right here, and she just has a very restricted Pinzgeier pattern. So here's a 1/4 Pinzgeier. So this one has SP big S. So this one's not quite as restricted as the previous cow, but it still is a restricted Pinzgeier pattern. Next locus or next allele we're going to be talking about at the spotting locus is our Simmental spotting. So they have spotting on the body and white on the face. And here we have a Cimbra that also has a Simmental pattern. So spotting on the body, white on the face. And here we have a Simmental Angus calf. So from our Angus, we get a big E, a big C, and a big S. And from our Simmental, we get a little E, a little C, and big S, S. So big E makes this calf black, a little C dilutes the black color, and a big S, S with big S gives us the blaze face. Next that we'll talk about is the SG allele. So this causes the speckled spotting you see on this shear. So we have E+, giving us the red base color, and big B, giving the black nose, feet, and tail. And our heterozygotes have a more restricted speckling pattern compared to our homozygotes. So here we have a gray Brahman red Angus cross. So we have E+ from our Brahman, a big B from our Brahman, and then a little g from our Brahman, and then from our Angus we have a little e a little b, and a big G. So whenever you have an animal that's heterozygote, big B, little b, and the most dominant allele at the extension locus is either E plus or little e, you can have 3 different colorations. So for this one in particular, since we have the base color being expressed with a big G, what we end up getting, or the options we could end up getting for this one, are red brindle, chocolate, or red with little or no black pigmentation. So for your homeworks or for the test, if you get this genotype, you have to write out all the possible colors that they could be. So next we have a gray Brahmin crossed with a red Angus. So for this one, this is a variation of what we just saw. So this one is a light red brindle. And here we have a Brahmin crossed with a Hereford. So E plus little e, we're heterozygote for our Bs and also at our Gs. And we have SHS. So we're going to get a bald face from that. And then since we have E plus is our most dominant and we're heterozygote at our Bs, we have to, or we can get the colors red brindle, chocolate, or red with little or no black pigmentation. And for this cow, it happens to be a chocolate with a bald face. So for this one, here's another chocolate with a bald face, just made a different way. So you can see that chocolate color and then some white on the face here. So here we have a Gyr crossed with a Hereford steer. So we have E plus as the most dominant and heterozygote big B, little b, and we have homozygous big G, so we have a dark chocolate with a bald face. So you will not be asked to distinguish between types of chocolates, but there are variations within the color. Okay, so here again showing a picture of the chocolate. So there are technically 2 different types. So if you look here, here's one type. So it's more of a darker pigmented type. So if you look at this one, it has darker pigmented ears compared to the other ones and on the body as well. So here's the other type. It's more of a lighter pigmented type. So if you look at the ears, there's a lot lighter pigmentation in the hairs and also here on the chest. So these 3 are one type, and then this is the other type of chocolate you can get. And here again, we have a dark chocolate. And then this is another color we can get from our heterozygote big B, little b, and E plus or little e being our most dominant. So this one is red with a bald face with little or no black pigmentation. So if you look at the nose, feet, and tail, which you can't really see the tail that well, but there's not very much black pigmentation. And here we have a faint brindle. So if you look very closely at the coat pattern, you can kind of see the brindle pattern coming through. And we also have little or no black pigmentation on the nose, the feet, and the tail. Here again, this is a very faint red brindle with a bald face. If you look closely around the eye, you can see the brindle pattern just right here. So here we have a reverse brindle, and this is a chocolate brindle. So again, there's a lot of variation within these, but we will not ask you to be this specific on the homework or the test. Okay, so here we see a similar genotype to our previous slides. So we have E plus little e, and then we're also heterozygote big B, little b. So since E plus or little e is most dominant here and we're heterozygote big B, little b, we can have 3 different colors. So the colors are a little bit different when you have little g, since that's going to make the animal gray. So the possible colors for this are gray brindle, gray with a black nose, feet, and switch, or gray with little or no black pigmentation. So this one here is gray brindle. Okay. So here we have a Gyr crossed with a Hereford, so it's going to be red and also have the full Hereford pattern. Next we see an Allure Angus cross, So EP is our most dominant, and we also have a heterozygote big B, little b, and two little g's. So we have a gray coloration due to the little g's. And then since EP is most dominant and we're heterozygote big B, little b, we're going to get the three possible colorations on this one, and this is a gray brindle. And here we have another gray brindle. And you can see it's still in the process of graying out because it has this red coloration here. And then here we have another gray base color. We can also get black brindles. You'll not be asked about black brindles in this class. So that's when we have E with an E plus. And here again we have a black brindle and another black brindle. So the amount of red coming through in the brindle varies animal to animal. The last locus we'll talk about is the reddening locus. So this only comes into play whenever we have a big E with an E plus. So whenever they are heterozygote, big N, little n, there is a lighter coloration. Whenever they are big N, they're black, and whenever they're little n, it makes them to where they're almost just red all over. And the last color we'll look at today is Normandy. You won't be asked about this on the test, but this color is a tricolor, so you get the white, the black, and the red. And that is it for your cattle color.